it's interesting when you combine, okay, the sacred feminine as this listening for the energies, but then the energies are fierce. The energies that are coming through, like the archetype of Venus in Aries, is fierce and truth-telling and courageous and strong and committed. And so I like that you bring in the nodes, because I think that's important to keep in mind at this time when we're still so connected to that nodal axis. It's like, what are we letting go in Libra as our codependent, people-pleasing dynamics? And when we're talking about South Node, we're looking at shadow. But when we're talking about North Node, we're talking about like the breakthrough energy. So the breakthrough of Venus in Aries is, yes, I get to tell my truth. Yes, I get to show up. Yes, I get to have a mission, and that it's safe to do that. And we're supported to do that.
Hello and welcome to Venus Blueprint Astrology, where we explore the secret wisdom of the sacred feminine as the much-needed medicine that the world needs at this time. I'm Alicia Love, and this is my Mage sister, Stella Ray. And today we're going to walk you through some of the big energies from the new moon eclipse that we had in Aries to the Scorpio full moon in a couple of weeks. We are highlighting Venus, bringing the feminine consciousness to the forefront to support a much-needed rebalancing between the feminine and the masculine. Our intention is to support you in bringing more harmony, conscious alignment, and balance between your inner and outer worlds, particularly in light of these intense times in which we're living. So we're asking, how does the feminine hold herself in her heart and in the heart of the world, especially when life gets challenging? We would love to invite you to our virtual circle on April 17th. We create sacred space for women to bring your astrological birth chart and what is coming up for you around these energies, so that you can be held and nourished within a circle of women through sacred ceremony. We combine the wisdom of astrology with the power of circle to elevate, nourish, and support the feminine consciousness as it rises into the artistry, power, and expression that we want to see in the world.
Yes. We are part of bringing in this third wave of feminism on this planet that has to do with recovering the sacred feminine within all of life. And we believe that women need new feminine rites of passage to bring us together at this time and for this purpose. We believe that this recovery of the sacred feminine is something that we cannot do alone. So we value your support and your comments, all of your personal experience. We'd love to hear from you how you're experiencing these energies. And if you're feeling this call to define these new feminine rites of passage for ourselves, if you feel free, if you feel called to join us in Circle, there's a link we'll include so you can join, and your first circle with us is free. So yeah, so we'll dive into the energies that we're working with here, from that solar eclipse to the Scorpio full moon. Alicia, do you want to run down what we're working with in the next couple weeks?
Yes, it's a lot of Aries energy. The sun is still in Aries. We had that big eclipse with the new moon in Aries, and Mercury is retrograding through Aries. Mercury's going to go back and conjunct Chiron, which was aligned at the exact degree of that eclipse of the new moon in the solar eclipse. And then Mercury retrograde is going to continue on and conjunct Venus. So we're going to talk a lot about this Aries energy and how to bring the feminine, soft, loving energy to this warrior goddess that we are defining as this Venus and Aries energy that we're feeling right now. So on Monday, April 15th, Mercury's going to conjunct Chiron. And that is going to bring a new voice to the communication that's needed for the healing that has been coming up for us. It's been wildly intense. These eclipses, whoo, everybody's feeling so much intensity. And it's not like it's bad intensity. It's change, and it's really showing us what is needing to be different and what we want to make change for. Aries energy is like the fire starter, change maker. And what are you initiating change for in your life? And how is it healing? And what do you need to say about it? Like, what are we saying about this, our process, and what needs to be healed? And then Wednesday, April 17th, Venus will conjunct the North Node in Aries, and that's this energy we are working with. How is the collective consciousness growing towards more sovereign? How are we responsible for ourselves? And how do we stand up for ourselves? And we're going to talk about this. We're going to go back and forth, and maybe we want to just dive in right now because Venus in Aries, she's powerful, right?
Yes. Fierce.
Years. And there is a sweetness to that if we want to bring in the feminine, loving kindness to how do you speak up for yourself and be really firm in what you believe in and really empowered to move forward with a gentle grace. Because I know I work on this for myself, and I know women in the world that they just have such a powerful sense of grace and they get stuff done, but they do it with this balance and internal awareness that I'm always impressed when I see people doing that. So I think that that's this evolution that we're always working with. The North Node is our conscious evolution. When Venus and Aries come together with that North Node, we're going to feel powerful in our purpose, but graceful in how we deliver it. Is that how you feel it, Celery?
I love that. No, I love that. Yes. I think that that brings in the dimension of the sacred feminine. Like, if we're talking about what is the sacred feminine is able to be this receptive chalice vessel for the energies that are coming through, and and intentional about how she wants to work with them. So I think it's interesting when you combine, okay, the sacred feminine as this listening for the energies, but then the energies are fierce. The energies that are coming through, like the archetype of Venus in Aries, is fierce and truth-telling and courageous and strong and committed. And so I like that you bring in the nodes, because I think that's important to keep in mind at this time when we're still so connected to that nodal axis. It's like, what are we letting go in Libra as our codependent, people-pleasing dynamics? And when we're talking about South Node, we're looking at shadow. But when we're talking about North Node, we're talking about like the breakthrough energy. So the breakthrough of Venus in Aries is, yes, I get to tell my truth. Yes, I get to show up. Yes, I get to have a mission. and that it's safe to do that, and we're supported to do that. So yeah, I love what you said about when you know when you see someone that does that well. And I have a lot to learn in that too. I'm an Aries rising, so I feel like my life is a big experiment with that at times. Like, what's too far when you're really aiming to speak your truth and be in your boundaries and your self definition, and when to yield in relationship, and when to be diplomatic and make sure that that feels like the right word for you, the diplomatic, like to,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
to
there's
bring it.
grace in that diplomacy, right?
Yeah,
There's a way that you can speak your point, like you kept saying, speak your truth in a way that isn't like pointed and
yeah,
forceful and this old masculine way of like
yeah,
nailing something to the wall versus inviting the truth to be known, knowing your truth so strongly that you are a force to be reckoned with just by your beingness,
ooh,
right?
yeah, love that. Yes. Yes, and that brings in Chiron too. That Chiron is so wounded in Aries, and we're having all this Chiron influx in Aries. And I think for so long, Aries power has been that power over and dominating. And so we're learning how to, with this Mercury and this Chiron, we're learning how to rewire that and rethink that and reframe that. Like, how can it be about empowerment for myself and the person that I'm communicating my truth to? Like, it's not just about my truth, it's about the communication of it in a way that can be received and empower both parties, empower everyone involved, which,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Want to sing that one. It is about
Yeah,
empowering ourselves without disempowering someone else. And that's what I mean by like nailing that to the wall. It's like there's something about that that's just like forceful power versus the collectively coming together and empowering each other and doing this the feminine way, which is what we're trying to teach. And Venus and Aries right now, and having all of this activity of Venus aligning with the North Node and then Mercury and Chiron, we're getting this beautiful chance to shift that and reset it. And I think we were talking about it's going to be a breakthrough energy. There might be something that with that internal power, you actually break through the limiting beliefs and the
yeah,
walls that you've put up. And we're going to feel that really, 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 really powerful at the full moon because the full moon is going to be in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about power. But there's the shadow side of that, of power over, and then there's the empowered and illuminated, and let this full moon illuminate that empowered, supportive, and diplomatic, balanced ways of not cutting other people down, but being able to stand so much in your power that you're actually inviting people to speak their truth and be in their power. And I think the thing about diplomacy and conscious communication, which Mercury communication, is really about how you word things that are in a truth, like being an observer of what happened instead of being judging it and putting blame or communicating what when someone's done something wrong, that they did something bad instead of just like this is what happened. And if you have feelings about it, Aries might really want to get fiery and like express those feelings, and we can do that in a way that is empowering for
yeah.
ourselves and not, like I said, disempowering for the other person.
Yes, 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 totally. And it feels like in what you're saying, bringing in the Scorpio, it's like it feels like what you're saying is when we come into the present moment and we're bringing presence in our relationships, then we're not also running all of these programs that are holding on to these past hurts and these past resentments and these deep emotional programs that are causing us to lash out or to self-sabotage, which is so much where the territory that we get into around Scorpio or unhealed Scorpio, shadow Scorpio, whereas I always like to give a plug for like positive Scorpio, being that my moon is in Scorpio too. And, positive Scorpio is like, how do we give ourselves permission to feel into all of that so deeply so as to be transformed by those deep currents of energy and to move deeply through that healing in order to be an empowered space and to feel empowered life force. And if we can bring that empowered life force and combine that with that sense of mission and purpose and diplomacy and and what we're here to do and that breakthrough that we're here to have, which I think the feminine consciousness right now is in breakthrough mode. I mean, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're bringing in our videos. That's what we're bringing in Circle, is this consciousness and this inquiry into what does it mean to experience the feminine rising into this space of breakthrough, coming into new territory. We don't know what it's felt like to feel safe, to speak truth, and to be leaders, and to have strong, clear purpose and mission, and to do it in a way that also honors the sacred dimension of life.
Oh,
So it's like beautiful territory that we're inviting that we're calling in sisterhood around.
yes. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. Venus is so beautiful. And talking about her in this way and talking about these energies has really helped me to see the full spectrum that Venus is. She's not just this Aphrodite-like goddess that only cares about beauty and love and like falling in love and like that's what your Venus represents for you. Venus is powerful and she represents not just what is beauty in the world, but how do we create that beauty? How do we get creative and ignite, Aries ignites things, ignite our creativity. And she's not just soft in like a sweet feminine way. She's also powerful in her ways of being soft, right? Like the inviting in and all of what you just said is just such a difference. And when we bring in the moon, because we love to bring Venus and the moon together, we're talking about the moon in Scorpio, and that full moon's actually going to be square Pluto, which is also ruled by Scorpio. And that energy is possibly going to bring up those power dynamics. And I think that that's where the breakthrough energy is going to be around how we work with power dynamics and what are we really trying to communicate, that Mercury energy, in a way that is, we're going to keep saying diplomacy, but
Yeah.
diplomatic and balanced, or just loving kindness, which is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
subscribe to. Like
Yeah.
not just loving kindness towards others, but towards ourselves and the self-talk that we have towards ourselves. I think you mentioned that too. So
Yes.
super
Yeah.
powerful. And then what happens? Then the sun moves out of Aries and we get some grounded Taurus energy. And we're going to get into the physical body. And when we've had a lot of Taurus energy over these last few years, because the last North Node was in Taurus, and we were really embodying our feminine wisdom through that North Node in Taurus, we're going to get this reminder that Taurus is not just about beauty and embodiment, but also value and worth and the things that we take in, like sensual sensory experience, food, and what are those things to us? They're like the building blocks and what we create and who we are on a physical level. And then Jupiter is going to conjunct Uranus. And that is such a big energy that people have been talking about for a while now. So you can watch whole videos on that. There's people that are going to go so much deeper than we are, but it's going to be at the 21 degree in Taurus, which is kind of far away from what everything else is happening in Taurus. So if you have something in Taurus around that 21 degree, any of your personal planets, you'll feel the expansion of Jupiter, because that's what Jupiter does, and this electric energy of Uranus. And I know, Stella Ray, you want to talk a little bit about like what that change might feel like or what it might bring to the collective consciousness, because those are outer planets, right? They're a little different than our personal Venus and our inner Mars and Mercury.
Yeah. No, but I love how you just tied that back to the North Node having been in Taurus and the last cycle, and in the last Venus cycle, we were working with the North Node and Taurus, which meant the South Node was in Scorpio. And so that to me registers as we are being reminded and we are being expanded around and having potential breakthrough around, because Uranus is also that breakthrough energy of innovation and things happening that you could have never predicted that take you to a totally different place that you could, kind of eclipse-like energy where it's like, it's wild, it's lightning, it's unexpected. So maybe we're looking at an unexpected breakthrough around our self-worth and our self-valuing. I love that you brought that in because that feels like the heart of Venus and Taurus energy, that self-love and self-valuing. And as we release in this full moon in Scorpio, anything like we were in that South Node Scorpio moment, if there's anything left to surrender. And what a perfect moment, because Venus is entering the underworld just a couple weeks after that, right? So it's like timing to be remembering, recalling anything, or looking at it fresh. Like, what new do we need to surrender around those unhealed, deep wounds within us, so that we can have a breakthrough around an expansion around our self-worth and our ability to self-value as the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels, yeah.
That feels so good to talk about it like that, to feel into it like that, and to realize that that's what we're all working with together, right? And we're going to keep bringing Venus and her cycle, the blueprint, into the descent. And or we're at the end of the descent cycle. We're just about to go into this underworld time. And I love what you said about bringing these last few things that we need to shake up and release and let go of. And what are we really embodying as we go in completely naked to the underworld? This is the time to release the last little bits of what is holding you back from standing in your most empowered self. And that takes that really close inner listening. And there's going to be some discernment around like, where is it in my body that I'm still holding on tight instead of just this open, released, softened surrender, right? And it's trusting that we have what we need as we enter naked into the underworld. And it's not a negative thing to go into the underworld, it's just true surrender. And we're just trying to teach that surrendering to yourself, it's not surrendering to the energies outside, it's surrendering to what you know about yourself. And this truth of yourself is like so strong.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anything that's limiting you, it could be a negative self-talk, it could be feeling like you're just not fitting in the right place in your life and you need to make a change and you need to be true to yourself. Take that action. Venus is going to help you take action right now.
Yes. I love that. I love that. And where might we still be self-sabotaging? Where are we still not willing to slow down enough to listen, to go inward? It's a strange juxtaposition because we're being called in. And I love that you said it's not scary. This it's a rebirth. It's a fusion with this energy of the sun that allows us to burn up anything that no longer serves so that we can be reborn as something new. And that's powerful and
Yeah.
nothing to be afraid of. That's evolution in action happening as us and through us. And
Mhm.
that is what the feminine is onto. That's what we are after. That is what we are here to invite women to participate
Yeah.
in this
It's worth
in this.
it.
It's
It's worth it. And that's
yes,
that Taurian like
yes,
value, worth,
yes,
something that Venus
yes,
stands for.
yes.
It's worth it. It's you are worth it. And it's worth it to go through the dark night of the soul and the underworld and the surrender and the trust, even if it does feel a little scary. I mean, you said it's not scary. People are scared.
True.
And you don't
Yes.
need to be scared, is what we're trying to say, is you can let go of fear and trust that you will be supported, you will be held and nourished, and that it can be graceful, and that it's a whole different way of being. And this is a new blueprint we're trying to reset for women, especially. Men also need to know this information. So, we circle with women because that's our natural way, and we bring this wombic like connection and nourishment because we need it. And then we can bring it to the world. And when men step into this as well, they step into what we're going to talk more about in future episodes of that lunar masculine, the passive aspects of the strength of just holding space. And as women for Circle, this is powerful information. We learn to yield our masculine in a good way, not the power over model of what you think of as a powerful woman in a power suit. Just like, that's just being the old way. It's just masculine in a woman's body. We're wanting, and not masculine. It's really more the old, um, we'll call it like disempowered, not even disempowered. What's the good word for it?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's like the unhealed, it's like that Chiron
Unhealed.
infused Aries of just,
Yeah.
insecure power where you think it needs to be that you have power
Control.
over control.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
totally. Yeah.
yeah,
The old masculine control, which we want for things to have order. Yes. But
yeah,
power over controlling others, like, no, we're over it. That's
yeah.
done. That's the past. Let's step into the future that is of this feminine way, and hold the structure and use our beautiful masculine energy and our beautiful feminine energy together.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Love that. Oh, and
Mhm.
I have to say, it just flashed through me too when you said all of that so beautifully that as this Jupiter Uranus conjunction happens in Taurus, it's like, let's focus on this new earth and this earth consciousness that we're building, this humanity that we're self-valuing ourselves and all of humanity and our planet and what that means. What does it mean to live like that and to step into
Conscious,
that?
consciously choosing, right? Choosing to not use as much plastic, choosing to feed yourself well, like all of the earth-based
Yeah,
focused things.
yeah,
I was reminded by one of my sister friends to remember to go out on the earth with my bare feet and
yeah.
squat down, touch the earth, and be connected to her, feeling that electromagnetic connection of grounded, beautiful, stable, strong, nourished energy that we have available to us everywhere we go. Like, you're like, yes.
So on the 21st, especially, make sure that you go out and just stand on the ground and just
Yes.
nothing else. Just stand and feel your feet on the earth and the power of something so simple as that and how it can
Yeah.
nourish and regenerate.
All
So,
of next weekend, stay grounded. Because, like you said, that
yeah,
electric Uranus energy could come
Yes.
shake things up. We've already had an earthquake on the East Coast. We've
Mhm.
already had some shake it up energy coming through. And, it's a long transit. Those are outer planets. It's just going to be really exact on the 20th, 21st of weekend. So stay grounded. Connect with us in Circle if you want more of that, like strong, grounded, feminine, masculine, balanced, graceful, all the things we've been talking about. We're just going to bring in the sacred feminine and ritual and gather together with you women on the 17th to celebrate. It's going to be before the full moon, right?
Mhm.
Preparation for and really dropping into that.
Can't
And
wait.
yeah, so join us. Please subscribe to our channel because we're going to keep making these videos and we're doing them in preparation for our circles. We want to invite you to circle with us and enjoy swimming in these energies, right? It's going to be enjoy stepping into the fire and just letting those things burn off and
Yes.
find
Aries
the
loves a great
pleasure.
Aries loves a great adventure.
Yes,
Go
totally.
with it. Go with
Yep.
it.
Don't resist. Otherwise, you're going to
No,
get shaken up by Uranus. It's not going to be as fun.
that's right. That's right.
Okay,
Oh,
well
this
then
was
until,
fun.
yes,
Mm.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks.
Until next time.
Mm.